So imagine that it's the year 4053. You are some kind of life form, completely different to human beings today. Perhaps you're an alien thing. Perhaps you're like a spirit that moves like a mist. Maybe you're a state of consciousness somewhere in the galaxy. Or maybe you are a human being in a future where we have evolved so much beyond emotions and even physicality. And somehow, in some way, you have the option to play a type of video game. So you go to the intergalactic store or wherever it is that you play this game, you browse the options, and like you're choosing a song in a jukebox, you browse. This is the game of human life. And there's a wide array of stories and adventures and outcomes for you to choose from. Now, you've been here before. You're a repeat customer. You love this place. And this time as you're browsing their catalog, you've got some new arrivals. You find one that looks particularly interesting. You read the summary like the back of a DVD. Sounds interesting. So you pay your money and the game begins. You're born. Now, this is a weird visualization, but it is one that I play in my mind during tough times in my life. The idea that I'm possibly some intergalactic being or consciousness or evolved human being, and that life is in fact a game that I've chosen to play for no other reason than experiencing emotion. This in some way allows me to almost savor whatever it is I'm going through, to feel it, to explore it, to experience it fully, because again, where we usually live, us beings have transcended unnecessary emotion. So happiness, love, loss, hurt, pain, anger, joy, all of these things are just to be experienced in this game. Emotions, good and bad, are all new, novel, exciting, possibly even character evolving, like the same way that a good movie can change your perspective on life. And I am still that being. So that consciousness, like inside of me, I am the watcher, as Buddhists call it, but I'm now trapped in this life of my own choosing, getting my full money's worth. Like the intensity of emotion is what I've paid for. It's what I've come here to experience. And amnesia of reality is part of the deal. It's a condition of playing the game, because you can't really truly feel something like fear, for example, if you know that it's a game. And when the game is over, when we die, we return to wherever it is that we actually live, maybe looking forward to playing the game again. Rebirth. So is this completely delusional? Yeah, likely. But we don't know the point of any of this. We don't know why we're here. So that leaves us open to a wide range of potential beliefs. You have to believe something. So why not believe something that eases your life a little? And this one's mine. Bill Hicks, the amazing comedian, once said, this is just a ride. And maybe it's even a ride that we've gone into knowing full well that we're going to experience some shit. Just like when you walk into a cinema. I've had a tough year. It started with a breakup that took me a long time to get over. I battled with several addictions. I won in the end. I nearly crashed I nearly died in a motorbike crash. I broke my ribs, which prevented me from doing the one thing that keeps me sane, training. So I also had long bouts of depression. My condo got flooded in Chiang Mai. There are a couple of other trips to the hospital, one with a gut full of H. pylori, one with a foam earplug jammed down my ear canal. I've had to restart my TRT protocol again. Basically, most of this year sucked. But come November, the 11th hour, I guess you could say, I had to change. So I left Chiang Mai. I went to Phuket to just completely isolate myself. I sat on a beach. I detoxed and just let whatever emotions come up. And God, they did. Then I returned to civilization to see two of my friends get married. And I also caught up with an old friend from Melbourne, where I was super saddened to hear that some of us from back in the day didn't make it out. They ended things at their own will, and this hit me really hard. For days, all I could see in my head was images of just sweet, young, innocent, introverted men who got out of their comfort zone, who taught themselves how to socialize and how to talk to girls, how to overcome the immense social conditioning that we all face, to put in years and years of effort to overcome their demons, only to have those demons eventually catch up with them. And I was flooded with a sense of selfishness for walking away from that industry, And also from men who could have done with my help, like not with women and in dating per se, but like more in recognition and acceptance of life. Like I think a big thing that made me a pretty good coach was this idea of acceptance. Like I told guys that this process is not fun. Learning social skills is not fun if for those of us that doesn't come naturally for. Going out is not fun. You don't have to be the life of the party. Oh, you have approach anxiety and social anxiety? Yeah, that's completely normal. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. You don't have to put on a song and a dance to meet a girl. And I think this same acceptance of life, good and bad, is what we need more of now. Like the further we allow ourselves to get away from objective reality, the more entitled we become as a society. Like the more we look at things and think, oh, that should be like this. Dude, a mental health crisis is on the horizon. And then we go into fix-it mode. You can spend the next 10 years on a healing journey, chanting and dancing around a fire, cool, which I do agree has some healing benefit, but only on a superficial level. Like I think the core of who you are and the essence of objective reality, I don't think that changes. And I think acceptance of that, like rather than trying to outrun it, I think is what brings true freedom and contentment. Like one thing I would do back in the coaching days with clients is I would have them envision their life where they never got another date again. They never had sex again. They never had a girlfriend again. They never met a wife. And I would ask them to find contentment in that visualization, like to find something to live for in that hypothetical situation. What can you enjoy in life when the things that you're chasing are taken off the table? And then the magic happens. You begin to become more grateful for life itself, for breathing, for sunshine, for hot showers. And ironically, it's this mindset that attracts people into you more than running around approaching a bunch of people. So you combine that mindset with the skill, like that's jackpot. So I'm going into 2025, maybe healthier and happier than I've ever been, like at least more excited about the future than I've ever been. And it's just interesting to think that what preceded that was one of the worst years of my life. So like, if you're watching this and you're struggling, seems like a lot of people had a really tough year. Just be strong. Explore all the corners of the dark rooms. Don't try and fix it per se. Like explore it, feel it, as though it's something that you have paid to experience. This can send your brain down a whole new pathway of reframing what it is that you're going through. Is just an experience to be experienced and potentially a character building experience. Like you don't need to understand it, and you won't understand it. Well, at least not until we die. Hopefully all this shit makes sense then. And also some of the smartest people alive are now saying that we may actually be living in a simulation. So maybe this isn't that crazy of an idea after all. And it makes me think of like the Saw movies. So many of you psychos got obsessed with those Saw movies, which I never understood. Like, so if you can like pay money and walk into a cinema and somehow enjoy that, you can get through whatever it is you're going through now. And like any good movie, sometimes things happen that just don't make sense yet. You just grit your teeth and hold onto your seat and wait and have faith that somehow it's all just going to work out some way in the end. One more thing. One of my favorite quotes, and one I try to live by but fail most of the time, is a man who blames others has a long way to go. A man who blames himself is halfway there, but a man who blames no one has arrived. And I love this because it's this kind of Taoist approach that like life just is, that it has some order to it that we don't understand, that things just are. And even in the chaos, there's some kind of predestiny type of thing going on. Anyway, I know I haven't made a video in 2 years, so I thought I'd just bash one out here in my bedroom. If you're watching this, thank you very much. I hope this existential ramble helped you in some way or was at least interesting. I am going to try and do more videos this year and on more tangible and practical things. I can give my thoughts on dating, although it kind of makes my ass clench up because it seems like a bit of a war zone out there, but I'll try and share my observations for what they're worth. And lastly, for anyone that did have like a bad 2024, dude, I hope you have an amazing 2025. And look, even if you don't, just remember the late, great Bill Hicks. It's just a ride.